Hello, you're with Jason at True Vintage RC. Thanks very much for choosing to stop in and check out today's video. Now, as I sit here at this desk with this Kyosho re-released Tomahawk, I'm looking up above the camera screen. So 2.5 meters from me is the lens. That's where you are. So I'm looking at the lens now, looking at the screen, and my eyes looking through your TV screen at you. But above my DSLR camera, I have a TV screen mounted to the wall, and generally I tend to turn that off. So what happens is when I want to do a video is I will actually turn the TV on. It's connected to the camera, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here. So I thought this is a fun little experiment for the channel, and for anyone who is interested to know how I make this content in this little studio here. So I've got my cell phone set up here, and that's it right there. So as I zoom in, that's the DSLR camera just below the TV screen, and I zoom out a little bit, and that is there I am waving at the TV screen. So I'll put the phone down now, and I'll take the TV remote, looking upwards at the TV, but I should be looking at the camera. So yeah, I turn off the TV, and now I'm no longer distracted by a TV screen watching myself as I video myself. Weird, I know. It's just it's not easy making YouTube content. I'm not a professional from this kind of industry, and learning how to speak to a camera is not an easy thing to do, and I still continue to think I fail daily anytime I do this. So, but for anyone who's interested in knowing how to make a YouTube video, this is how I do it. I've got some lighting in front of me here, so I've got a tripod mounted light here, and I've got a light bar across the top of me here, and also inside of this room I have ceiling lights as well, so there's plenty of lighting going on. You've almost got to be good at looking through lighting at the lens, so I've got to look through some light to look at the lens to speak to you, the viewing audience. So anyway, just thought I'd give a bit of an insight there as to how I make my video content, and just in case you're interested in knowing how to do something for yourself, that's just one part of what it takes to make this YouTube channel work. So, but anyway, back to this Tomahawk. So, Vintage Bash 3.0, I caught up with Jason Fire Race in person. Now, we've spoken on Messenger a number of times leading up to that event, and I think I even spoke to him at the event, before Vintage Bash 2.0. And back then, he said to me, "Listen, I want to. Would you be interested in an Ultima Pro XL?" And I said, "Oh, look, I've actually got one. I raced one, and I've still got that car." And he said, "Look, I want to gift it to the channel. Would you be interested in a project to do on the channel?" So yeah, if you go back through some of my videos there, I might even pop something up on the screen here so you can see what it is I'm actually talking about. So he did send me a Pro XL project, and I did put that thing together and paint it up, and even Keith over at RC Icons was kind enough to donate me some original decals for that car. So yeah, that car really came off really nicely, and Jason said to me, "Listen, I want to do something again with you this year, like, can I send you something?" And I'm like, "Look, mate, I don't really need where do I start with that? I don't know. I really appreciate that people do want to contribute towards a channel, and I don't in any way need anything, as in I'm not asking anyone to donate me parts of their collection or cars or things they don't want. I'm not asking for that, but I do also value the fact that we've built a great little community here of like-minded people who, Keith has mentioned to me when he was over here, he talks about a lot of the involvement he gets with other people in RC through his channel, and by way of, you know, people who want to work with you or people want to talk to you. I guess you build up a little community around you. So I've got a very healthy respect for that concept, and this car here represents exactly that to me also. So I wanted to make note of that. And yeah, there are going to be some people out there who say, but Jason's got a bunch of cars already, why does he need any more? And I'm not asking anyone to do that. So I appreciate when they do, and I want to do the gesture justice also. And so when I come to this car here, Jason sent me this car, and, you know, he raced this car in the Vintage Bash 3.0 when I was chasing after it around the track with my drone, and I knew that he was driving this car, and I'm sure he knew, or I knew that he would love to get some footage of this thing actually in action. So he was out there. He was running some blacked out Ultima Pro wheels. So he had some yellow wheels that had been blacked out, and he was also running some gold shocks on it. But he sent the car back to me in pretty much in standard form, which is really cool. And this was the body that he sent on the car. Now, I'm going to get some close-ups here of some of the artwork. Now, when I first thought, when I first saw it, I thought, oh yeah, okay, so he's painted in some nicely coloured stripes here on the body, you know, black and gold, green and gold with the black. And then, oh yeah, wow, he's got some custom stickers made up. Wait a minute, they're not custom stickers. Those logos are actually painted. They're painted into this body. I just cannot believe it. So someone has very cleverly painted that in. I'm talking the Bridgestone, the Pennzoil, the Off-Road Championship Grand Prix stickers, the numbers. This is all paint. So yeah, wow, I don't know if Jace did that himself or he had a professional do that for him, but wow, that's really impressive. And now that I know that, I feel kind of bad because Jason actually ended up sending me a re-release body set to go with it as well. He said, you know, you can paint it up in your own colours, and I really liked what he did out there on the track. And there was a bunch of these cars going around at that event, and, you know, oh, it just made me so envious because years gone by, you'll see that Turbo Scorpion on my computer screen there. I had spent some time, long time before, I'm talking like nearly 20 years ago now, before any mention or even the thought of a re-release from Kyosho was even going to be around. But I chased down a bunch of the Scorpion and Tomahawk type parts, and I built some Turbo Scorpions and Scorpion Beetle, and yeah, I love those cars. I took them out on the beach near where I lived on the Gold Coast, because I lived on the beachfront, and during winter it wasn't very busy, so, you know, in the low tide I could go tearing down there over the wet hard sand as the water had sort of the tide had gone out, and had an absolute blast running cars out there. So yeah, I'll have to put some photos up in the video of those cars bolting around on the sand, just kicking it up and having a great old time. So anyway, so this is not standard either, by the way. So there is a bunch of carbon fibre bits in here. He's left the carbon fibre front towers there. There's a carbon fibre top plate here, carbon rear tower, also another brace down here for the servo. And you know, so what do I want to do with this car? What do I want to do with it? Because I've already got a new inboxed Tomahawk, and you know, I intended to build that up, you know, much like this, very standard, right? So I thought to myself, if I was ever going to do anything with a Tomahawk, I would make a Turbo Tomahawk. So yeah, in this kit box are the rest of the parts for this car, like, you know, the original components that made up this chassis, so including, you know, the window lights and all those bits and pieces. So Jace did send me the original stickers. In fact, he sent me this body here, but he also sent, and I'm going to guess this has to be a Penguin Lexan under tray made for this body profile, and wow, I'm just blown away by that, and thank you very much, Jace. It was very, very thoughtful. But it also has a couple of sets of the original decals inside the box. I'm yet to really go through it and sort it all out. And I said to Jason, I've got some of these rear yellow wheels for the Ultima Pro XL. I had these left over. I said, you know, by any chance you wouldn't happen to have any used front ones? And he didn't, but he said, I do have a set of new and packet ones. And I'm thinking, geez, that's, yeah. I said, look, what would you want for them? And he said, no, look, you can just have them. He goes, they're surplus to my needs. And I just, wow, man, I just can't thank you enough. I'm just so grateful, really, for the friendships that I build within the vintage RC community. And, I have no doubt that some people do like some of the content that I make, and I do appreciate all the engagement that I get. So thank you very much. So yeah, if you are a subscriber, thank you very much for jumping on board with this channel, and it does not go unnoticed. I really do appreciate people who want to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Jump on now. It doesn't cost anything. My content doesn't make any money through AdSense, so there are no ads. So you're never going to have to watch, girls' Barbie dolls or whatever being advertised by unscrupulous advertising companies on YouTube. But anyway, in this box here are all the extra bits and pieces for it, all the original parts. So, but behind that is this thing right here. So this is a Turbo Scorpion re-release kit that I bought many, many years ago. I bought it on sale, and I mean, they wanted $500 at the time, and I think it for about $350, which is an absolute steal. And but the problem with the Turbo Scorpion re-release for me, I'm not out to offend anybody with this, but the problem with me is that it's too wide, it's too long, it's got 2.2-inch wheels on it. They're all faux pas to me, and so but I could potentially make this car a longer wheelbase, a wider wheel track, all that sort of stuff. I won't go to the 2.2-inch wheels. That's just a bit too far for me. These cars are kind of small, and you put 2.2-inch wheels on them, they look kind of weird, a bit wonky. So, yeah, I am going to build up this car, and I'm going to take the components off this and mix them between the two. So this car is going to be stretched a little bit longer, a little bit wider. So it's going to be more of a turbo Tomahawk. That's the plan here. That's the plan with these cars. So, and this car is going to go back to an original spec because I really like that original the dimensions of this car. For me, it just worked. That's just where I connect with it. And a lot of that influence came from the Japanese website Time Tunnel. Now, if you are not familiar with Time Tunnel, that's a great website to go check out. They got lots of amazing photos, and the Japanese have just always done really, really cool things with their cars. And yeah, the Tomahawks and the Scorpion range, they've done lots of cool stuff over there with them, even from many, many years ago. So I draw a lot of my influence from that. And yeah, and in regards to the Vintage Bash, I'm not going to say their rules. I'm going to say, the guidelines, what they want is they don't want 2.2-inch wheels on these cars. They want them to be 2-inch or 1.9s or 1.7s, 1.6s, whatever they are. And they just look right, It's about recreating the era. It's not about winning or, coming home with a trophy, because there are no trophies to hand out at the Bash. But, yeah, and I think a lot of, there are some other events going on around Australia which are starting to follow suit as well. And all the trophies have been won, all the sheep stations have been won, and there's nothing really to prove, really, not with vintage. It's nostalgic, and that's what we love about all these old things, and I'm just continuing on with that. So anyway, I probably waffled on enough. I want to say a very, very big thank you to Jason Fire Ace, mate. You're a legend. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the friendship and the engagement. And yeah, it just blows me away that you'd want me to have this. And I will have to find a way to repay the favour. I promise you of that. So anyway, that's about enough for now. I'm going to get over the bench. We're going to have a bit of a look through this box. We're going to have a look through his cars, and I'm going to start building up what I consider a proper Turbo Scorpion and a modified Turbo Tomahawk. So see you guys.